All right. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Sorry, got a message right there. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday. Oh, yep, it's Thursday. Got some awesome rain yesterday. Here we go. We're up there. Got someone peeking in on us here. Test, make sure I can see what you guys say. All right. So happy Thursday. Got a little afternoon shower. Was able to get his bike ride off without a hitch. So Restream came up with a little new format here. So I'm a lot smaller on my screen than I have been in the past. That's okay. All right. So the last few days we've been talking about this progression from, to get yourself started. So, and then yesterday I had talked about truth and good morning, Mother, and how you can, it's all relative to, you believe your own truth and it's all from your perspective. So that can always tie back to everything that we talk about. And so one of the things I was listening to the other day was, in regards to both of those, it spoke about being the victim, playing the victim, and self-sabotaging. So are you a victim on your own path? In other words, do you consistently, every time you set out a goal, I want to accomplish this, but then you position yourself subconsciously to give yourself the option to fail because you've been a quote-unquote failure your whole life. You've consistently failed at trying over and over and over and over again of losing weight or completing such and such a fitness test and whatever it might be. So if you're that type of person, I love that your mom is listening every morning. This is the only way that my mom and I communicate, Deborah. Not really. My mom, she's my biggest fan. Probably not. I think my Aunt Susie is. So, but if you self-sabotage yourself every time you set out to accomplish a new goal, you're positioning yourself, you're falling back into that comfort. There's a level of comfort in knowing I'm probably going to fail. I'm probably not going to finish this. I'm probably not going to do that. And you might come from a bad background, like whether it was in your childhood, your adolescence, or even like adulthood through college and into adulthood, where you position yourself in you to fail. So, and that's completely normal. A lot of people do that because when you fail, you kind of fall back to, oh, I knew I couldn't do that. And I knew, and so-and-so said that I wouldn't be able to do that. And you start believing a lot of that stuff, right? So Aunt Susie is not your favorite fan. So when you have that mindset, you're never going to accomplish what you truly want to set out to do and what you truly are capable of doing. You're capable of completing anything. You're capable of doing all of that. It's your mindset is holding you back from accomplishing that, right? So if we take it from, let's just say from a training perspective, and we say that you want to be an Ironman. However, you're like, well, I know I'd never be able to do that. Well, already before you've even started, before you've even attempted the training, before you've even done any of it, you've already cut yourself short. Instead of saying, I want to be an Ironman, what is it going to take for me to get there? Or I want to be healthy, what is it going to take for me to get there? If you're 300 pounds and you say, well, I could never weigh 160 pounds. Well, not with that mindset. You never will, because that's always been your mindset. So why would you ever weigh 160 pounds, right? So you have to change your mindset to be able to get to that point where it's like, I want to be 160 pounds. What do I have to do to get there? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I know that it's not going to be easy. And I know that I'm going to fail along the way. And I know that I'm going to have to work through those failures. But if you have that mindset right out the gate of, oh, I can't do that, or oh, that's people will say, oh, well, our family is big bone. Really? Let's take everybody down to a skeleton. Guess what? 99% of people, adults, are going to have around the same size skeleton. Your bones aren't bigger. So you have to choose whether or not you're going to be the victim or you're going to be victorious. And if you want to be victorious and you want to win, you have to choose to change that mindset in the very beginning. Because again, otherwise, as soon as you fail, if you say, I want to do an Ironman, and then you fail on your first long ride and you're like, you know what? See, I knew I couldn't do this. This is too much for me. I can't do it. You just quit. But you're okay with that because from the beginning, you were giving yourself that opportunity to quit. You have to choose the other options. How do you choose the other options? You have to expect what you already know to be true. You have to know, you have to expect, like, I know I can be an Ironman and this is what it's going to take. So here's how I'm going to make that happen. I know I am going to fail. I know I'm going to have bad workouts, but I know that I am consistently falling forward as I fail. I fail, I get up, I go forward. I fail, I get up, I go forward. And I will continue to make that progress all the way until I get to that finish line. And then on race day, if it doesn't happen, you can walk away knowing I gave everything I had out there today and I didn't make it. But you know what? I know what I have to do next year differently to fail and make progress, so that I can get to that goal, right? That is how you make that change instead of starting out with, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard. It's only hard if you allow yourself to think that it's hard, right? Somebody out there has done it. Somebody out there who is in worse shape than you or who has worse nutrition than you has done the stuff that you're not willing to do. I promise you that. I guarantee it. I would put $100 on the line because I don't have much more than that right now. So I'd put $100 on the line that whatever you think you can't do, someone who is in worse shape or worse financial situation or whatever the hell it wants to be, whatever you want it to be, has done it and has done it faster, done it better, and done it more times than we can even imagine. Because it's all about that internal drive. And if you can't turn on that internal drive of truly wanting change, and that's where a lot of people fail, is a lot of people on the surface, they want to have this, but they're not willing to suffer to get to it. Everybody wants the easy way out. Everybody wants someone else to foot the bill, someone else to take care of the problem, and they want to reap the benefits of it. And that's just not how the world works. You have to get up and you have to bust your ass every day if you expect to get anywhere. And that, for a lot of people, like, some people get that when it comes to school. They never missed a homework assignment. They never were late to school. They used to give some sort of award for people who had perfect attendance. Because some kids were like, I'm not missing school. I want to have perfect attendance. I want to have all of that stuff. But then at the same time, I can talk to those same people now. There's people that I grew up with, and they're like, I don't know how you trained for an Ironman. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You never missed a day of school. You were valedictorian, or you were salutatorian, or, so you've committed your brain on that side, but you can't commit yourself on this side, right? That's just one of those things that you have to wrap your head around. You have to just know from the beginning, when you set out to do something or when you think about it, even as the thought passes your mind of, man, I'd love to be, you go to a doctor and the doctor says you're 32, your BMI is 32. And you're like, well, I'm just big boned. You're not big boned, you're obese. So you need to get your BMI back down. How are you going to do that? Right? So now you have to change that mindset of, okay, I have to be 24.9 is the upper limit of BMI. How am I going to accomplish that? I have to lose X amount of pounds of body weight. All right, how am I going to accomplish that? I am going to do this. I want to do this. I want to be healthy, because at the end of the day, who's coronavirus killing? The obese population. Believe me, check out some of the statistics on it. People with underlying conditions, and there is not a single person out there who is not obese that does not carry a lot of the markers of being pre-diabetic or other metabolic disorders. So don't tell me that you're just athletic. That is where you have to start making that change. But again, you have to want it. You have to want that more than a Snickers bar, M&Ms. I know Deborah, I know Matthew. More than any of that other stuff, because those are giving you that short-term, like 30-second fix. That is not helping your 5-year plan. Okay, so think about that next time. Think about that victim mentality, and don't be the victim. You choose whether or not you want to be the victim. You choose, if you grew up in a house where everybody ate Skittles and Kit Kats for breakfast. I grew up in a house where we had, and my mom's watching, we had Raisin Bran. My dad ate Frosted Flakes every morning. We grew up with like the Rice Krispies. We had whatever cereal we wanted. And then what did we do? We'd take Rice Krispies and we had a sugar dispenser. It was like this big, and if I remember correctly, it was brown, and there was a little itty bitty spoon in it, and you'd sprinkle maybe 1 or 2 things of sugar on top of your cereal. You'd eat the cereal. Didn't taste very good. That's why you added the sugar, and then we would drink the milk. Or we would eat healthy, and we would get a grapefruit. We'd cut it in half, and then my mom has a special little knife that we use. She'd use that, cut around it, do all the little slices, and then we'd sprinkle sugar on top. I grew up in a house where we didn't have awesome nutrition. We didn't, back then it was different. You didn't have the knowledge we have now. I could choose to say, well, I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life because that's the house I grew up in, and that's how I was raised. Or I could choose the other option and say, that is how I was raised, and I don't want my kids to, I don't want to have my kids eat like that. I don't want my kids to have healthier options. At least have healthier options available to them. Doesn't mean they're going to eat them, but that's what you choose. So think about that as you think about why you continually fail at hitting your goals. If you continually fail at hitting your goals, if you don't, you got nothing for it. 8:15, folks. Have a great Thursday. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bluebird skies. Get outside. Do some movement. Practice your social distancing as normal. And stay safe out there. I'll see you guys.